Hello again, guys. Welcome back. And for today's discussion for the March of the Machines card spoilers, we're going through to my personal choice of the Partner Legends now, the most multicolored cards that has been introduced in the set with sort of a partner or combination of the abilities of some of the various characters in several sets in the past. So I have these 7 card choices, and later on we're going to be having another standard deck feature and update to be able to have a home for these kinds of synergy cards or sort of the ability combinations of these cards. So we're going to start with this card. This is Baral and Khalizeb. So as you know, this is these two are from the Kaladesh set. So this the combination of their abilities. Baral and Khalizeb is a 3 to cast 2/4 first strike menace human. So whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser value of mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. So if you don't do it, or there's times that there are not an unavailable card with a lesser mana cost in the same type, you will create a first mate Maragavan. This is the legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token, and it will gain haste until end of turn. It's quite the setup here because of the color of the blue and red. I think it will be fitting much in a spells decks, or we have some previous discussion of an EZ tempo or sort of a EZ counter and burn kind of deck, and maybe Baral Khalizeb will have a home for that deck archetype. And next up is Jeru and Hazuret. This is again from the Amonkhet set, or the plane of Amonkhet. So it's now 5 mana cost basically with the 2 red and white legendary creature human god. It is a 5/4 power toughness as long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. The Juru and Hazuret has vigilance and haste. So what's interesting ability here is that whenever it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of the library and you may exile a legendary creature from among them. Put the rest of the bottom library in random order. So on the end of turn, you may cast the exiled card without making its mana cost. By casting it, you would either cast it during your second main phase after it attacks, or if that creature would probably have some sort of a flash effect such as Airtie Corrupted or Airtie Resurrected, you're gonna have it cast at the same time after the Juran Hazuret trigger resolves. So I may fit that this would be good in a Legends deck, since you would realistically have a lot of legendary creature cards from that build. But for a typical red-white, or I can say as a red-white mid-range deck, I don't think this ability would be really interested unless you have, of course, a good setup of or combination of legendary creature cards from among your deck builds and some other of the non in ratio to the non creature cards in the build. And so we have for the next one, Errant and Giada. This is again another interesting build from these characters is from the new Capena plane. So this is now 3 to cast 2/3 flash flying, and you may look at the top cards of the library at any time, and you may cast spells with flash or flying from the top library. That best combination again here is that you would require to have spells or creatures with flash or flying in the deck build, so that you could be able to maximize Errant and Giada's ability. In terms of maybe in standard use, I might really limited in the cards to use with this ability because of course the limited set. Not all the time we're going to have creatures with flash or flying that fits in the color of blue and white. But I think in the commander deck setup, it would be very easy for this card to be utilized because of the variance of the cards, even comparison for commander set only legal cards that can be used along with the Errant and Giada's deck build. So blue white also is your core to be able to maintain the rules on the commander rules as you would have to build up this deck. Next, we have Iritsugu and Kairi. So this is now the Dragon Spirit combined with Iritsugu, the Ogre Demon Dragon. It becomes a 5 to cast in total with the 2 mana, double blue and 1 black. This is a 5/4 flyer. With an enters the battlefield, you will draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on the top of your library in order. That means this is a brainstorm effect for that one. And it also has a die trigger that when it dies, X on the top card of the library, target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. And if it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. This effect will also like the similarity of the blue-black deck that has several high mana cost, such as those cards that gets you extra turn, time stretch, and the like. So whenever you're able to exile that and reveal it to your opponent, the opponent will lose life equal to its mana value. So that's very huge mana, or I mean life swing lose scenario, and at the same time you get to play that card or instant or sorcery. The instant or sorcery card, you can play it without paying its mana cost. So again, that will how to depend on the deck build for this card would really based on how the interactions would look like, and also the card components and the ratio wherein you would be able to cast each of these cards by having the ability of Hiritsugong Kairi's Brainstorm to be able to place that card with a high mana cost on the top card library and then sacrifice it to another sacrifice effect, so that you can be able to use that top card to have this trigger effect and have your opponents lose a lot of life, and also playing that card that is instant or sorcery card for free the setup. And next up is Talia and Get Rogue Monster. Again, this would be one of my another choices for this because of the combination of a unique combination, if I may, because of Talia being a human and Get Rogue Monster being a frog horror. So we now have a legendary creature with human frog horror in the setup. It's a 4 mana cost for 4, but at the same time it has very interesting abilities here. We have first strike and that touch, and you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and creatures and basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tap. And this ability that those extra lands can then be used to sacrifice this to this ability. Whenever it attacks, so sacrifice a creature or land and then draw a card. So in a unique way, very good for the first strike ability and that touch, a very good combination, and then another good way to delay your opponent and at the same time get your extra lands or creatures sacrificed to have you draw to your specific cards from your library. And I think this one would be the second to the last one, Zimone and Dina from Strixhaven. So this is another to cast 3/4 Human Dryad. Whenever you draw your second card its turn, it target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And since this will the Sultai colors, drawing cards will not really be difficult for the setup because you have several card draw effects, even so for black and green combination. So you have your other option here that you may tap, sacrifice a creature, another creature, draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand into the battlefield tap. So extra play land and draw a card also that you would trigger this one to have your opponent lose 2 life when you gain 2 life, provided that it is your second card each turn. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process. So that is also a good news, provided that you can ramp up early on and also card draw in the process and have this bonus once you control 8 or more lands. For the last partner card or partner legends card from March of the Machine set, we have Zorgo and Jutai from Khans of Tarkir or the Tarkir plane. We have the good combination of Jeskai here because of the blue, red, and white colors. 5 to cast in total with a 4/4 flying haste. And enters the battlefield, it would have hexproof. And whenever one or more dragons you control would deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of the library and put one of them in your hand and the rest at the bottom in the library of any order. But the good thing is that you may be able to return one of those dragons to its owner's hands. So the damage trigger here would go with whenever one or more dragons you control. So that means it would only trigger once for whether you're attacking with only one dragon, such as Zorgo and Ojutai, or you're attacking 2 or 3 more to your opponent, and they would be able to deal combat damage to that player or to a battle card. The only good thing here is that you would be able to have to return one of those dragons, which means that Zorgo or Ojutai, if returned, would then again attack for another turn next turn by paying 5 again, flying haste, and it has hexproof. So that is a good attacker that saves itself from any sorcery speed removal. It has also hexproof as long as it enters the battlefield this turn. and also can deal a hasty damage in the air for 4 with the flyer ability. So overall, I think would not really rank each one of these partner cards depending on the setup, because they would depend more on how the deck build or other card components that the deck would look like in order for them to be more effective to their abilities and other cards from that they would be interacting with in this current scenario. So for our deck for the day, we have this one uploaded for the Architect website. This is the Mother Machines 5 Color Legends. As you can see here, we're basically just having 33 creatures, 3 instants, and 24 lands at our disposal. And we have a variance of probably all of these are legendary creatures, if I may. And we're going to start with a quick discussion of the choices, including the new cards. So we have several 1-drop here. This is, I think, our only 1-drop with Scrap Defector Might from Pyrexia LB1. Able to have this ability to protect your other creatures from spot removals and have them also unblockable. Next, we have 2 copies of the Pious Apprentice, again a very solid 2-drop for blue-white, and has also a flip card in the late game. It also gets you gas by creating these clue tokens. We have 3 copies of Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard, a good 2-drop for 3 on this one, and also this ability to have your other legendary creatures get +0, a good pump also if needed, and have them indestructible at the end of turn. Another 2-drop here, so 4 copies of Talia Garden Traben. Taxing creatures and non-creature spells would be really efficient against most of the matchups in the metagame. And then we have 2 copies of Adeline for the 3-drop Resplendent Qatar. There's nothing much to say here aside that you can create any number of 1/1 white human creature tokens that tap and attacking whenever you attack. And we have 1 copy of the 3-drop Glisa Sunslayer. Again, this would act as a utility creature here because of the ability that whenever Glisa Sunslayer deals combat damage to a player, you will choose 1, you will draw a card, you lose 1 life, you can destroy enchantments, or you can remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. So having this 3-drop already is a very good scenario in the setup. Then we have also Bloram, the 3rd path. That's ETB ability that can be able to destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment, and also set options that you can have to draw a card if needed for certain scenarios. Another one also the 3-drop is Miglus Maze Crusher. It is a good power and toughness by its mana cost because it's 4/4 by itself, and its Hunter's ability with 5 all counters, which has a lot of uses also by removing those counters, having these various effects if based on certain scenarios that you would use. And again, Raffine I've included here because of its ability that having to have an attacking creature connives, which means that you can dig out for more answers or other needed legendary creatures from your deck, so that will be able to also pump out your creatures by adding counters on them. So also this is a good 3-drop because of its ward ability and sort of flyer by itself, and as evidence in the Esper Raffine Legends decks. So 2 copies of that in the deck. And we also have 2 copies of Earth Resurrected. As I mentioned in the video earlier, we have this ability that it can splash a creature. So whenever you have the trigger resolves, you can basically flash this one for free and have these ETB effects done according to the scenario that would be best to your advantage. Again, for the 4-drop, we have Halana and Elena Partners from Crimson Bow. This is also a good way to pump up your other creatures and make them haste, because its ability to get them +1/+1 counters depending on its power. So it's basically you will have 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, and then that would also give them haste. So also another way to get past to be more aggressive by attacking also. At the same time, you will be able to cast your 4-drops or the next creature spells you will have. And for another 4-drop is the 4 copies of Shoulder Apocalypse. Not really going to deal mold ability, but this is one of the best 4-drop, especially in this aggro Elspeth 5 color Legends deck. And then we have the 2 copies of the new card Talia and the Get Through Monster. Also have the ability to be able to have this utility effects, and also disrupt your opponent by having them non-basic lands and creatures and also battlefield tap. And then our 5 mana drop is the Juru and Azuret, and a good combination of the card with the trigger ability that whenever it attacks. And 1 copy of the 5-drop. This is basically the 5 color card in the deck. The only one is Joda Generifier. It's a 5/5 I'd say, but the legendary creatures you control gets +X, and a good pump where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. So another option of pen, whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards from the top library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. So you may cast it card from below pay's mana cost and put the rest of the bottom library in random order. So another gas with the same way. It's sort of a win more event also already in the setup. And for the non-creature spells, I've chosen these two types of instants. Go for the Throat as one of the solid spot removal in the metagame, and trying this new card Pile On, which can basically able to convoke to just kill off the other creature or planeswalker, and also have you to surveil 2 from your library. So that's basically the instance cards and the creatures. 36 cards in total for the non-land spells, and 24 lands in the setup, again with plus of heroes as our main mana fix, covered with several check lands and the new cards from Parisha Old Rewan, Dark Shores, Capeline Gorge, and Shadow Sanctum only as the old slow lands. And we're going just to use a few of the utility cards from Neo Dynasty, Takenuma, 1 copy. We also have Otawara, and last but not the least is Iganjo, Seat of the Empire. So that's basically it for the deck. Last for the deck stats, you can see here that's basically about 5 color enough value, but the white piece is more of the 22 and the black is 19, along with red 11, with green is 10, and lastly blue with 7, but the color distribution is pretty much even. Surprisingly, the mana value is very much cheap because of the 2.94 average, but you must be able to curve out pretty well early, as long as you can have, again, Thalia and Scrub to protect your creatures, and probably delay off your opponent before they can establish their board by having several of their spot removals nullified, as long as you will be able to curve out well and curve to your 4 creatures, 4-drop creatures, and basically finishing them off with the Joda or Dangerous ability to cast more of the spells from your top 6 cards already. So that's basically it for this video, guys. I do hope you've already checked most of the card spoilers from Master of the Machines and other special cards that is printed there, especially those commander cards and those specially framed reprints that is included for each of the booster packs. And I do hope we're going to have a video soon for our next topic, would be for the pre-release events and all the other deck archetypes that we'll be expecting now with the release of this newest set, March of the Machines. So I guess that's about it, guys. Thank you for checking on this one. Be sure to like and subscribe, and the notifications bell on for more of this content, Magic the Gathering related, and also other game and deck strategies that we'll be discussing on this channel. Again, thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.